The Arizona sun was sinking low, bleeding red across the desert sky like a wounded heart. Wind carried the whispers of the canyon, and somewhere beyond those dying rays, a cry broke through the silence, soft, scared, desperate. Cole Branson tightened his reins. He'd been riding for hours, chasing a herd that had gone missing from the North Ridge. But that cry wasn't from no cattle. That was human and hurting. He spurred his horse Dusty toward the sound. The cliffs rose high, shadows stretching like fingers across the sand. Then he saw her, a young Apache woman, tied to a broken wagon wheel, her dress torn, blood marking her shoulder. Around her lay the bodies of two men, outlaws, by the looks of them, and one was still breathing. Cole jumped off the saddle. "Easy now, miss. You're safe," he said, voice low, steady as a river stone. Her eyes lifted to his, dark, fierce, but afraid. She spoke in a trembling whisper, words broken between her breath. "They came for our horses. They killed my brother." Cole's jaw clenched. He cut her ropes, lifted her gently. She flinched when his hand brushed her arm, but her eyes told him she understood. This cowboy wasn't like them. He carried her to his horse. "You can ride?" She shook her head weakly. "Then you ride with me." As the horse galloped through the crimson light, the girl leaned faintly against him. Cole could feel her trembling, from fear, from pain, or maybe both. And in that moment, under the dying sun, a strange silence settled between them. Not just silence, something sacred, like the earth itself was watching. By the time they reached the Branson ranch, night had swallowed the desert whole. The lantern light flickered across the barn as Cole helped her down. His sister Clara gasped when she saw the blood. "Lord Cole, what happened?" "Found her near Miller's Pass. Outlaws took her brother's life." They laid the Apache woman, whose name he later learned was Naya, on a cot near the fire. Clara cleaned her wounds, whispering softly as Cole stood by the doorway, staring into the night. The wind outside sounded like voices, the spirits of the desert, maybe. Days passed. Naya healed slowly. She barely spoke, her gaze always distant, lost somewhere between grief and gratitude. But every morning Cole found her outside, standing by the corral, watching the horses. "You like horses?" he asked one morning. She smiled faintly. "They don't lie. They don't judge." Cole chuckled softly. "Reckon you and I got that in common." That was the first time she truly smiled, and it hit him deeper than he wanted to admit. One evening, under the orange glow of sunset, Naya told him about her tribe, the San Carlos Apache, how her brother had been their chief's son, and how those outlaws had stolen from them before. She looked at him with tears glistening like fire in her eyes. "You saved me, but now my people will come. They will think you took me." Cole frowned. "Took you? It's our sacred law. A man who rescues an Apache woman from death becomes bound to her by spirit." The words hung heavy in the air. Cole didn't know what to say. He wasn't a man who believed in fate or old laws. But something in her voice, something in the way her eyes searched his, made him believe it was real. That night he couldn't sleep. The wind outside howled like 1,000 lost souls. He stared at the stars, the same ones that looked down on her people, and wondered if saving her had changed his life forever. The next morning, before sunrise, riders appeared on the horizon. Dust clouds rolled across the open plain. Cole stepped out, rifle in hand, as the Apache warriors dismounted, their eyes sharp as knives. At their head was an older man, face carved with time and pain. "You are Cole Branson?" The man said in English, voice deep as thunder. Cole nodded. "That's right. You rescued Naya, daughter of Taza, our chief's bloodline. By sacred law, her life is yours, and yours belongs to her." Clara gasped. Naya stood behind Cole, silent, her eyes glistening with something between sorrow and hope. Cole took off his hat. "Sir, I didn't rescue her for reward or claim. I did what any decent man would." The elder stepped closer. "You misunderstand, Cowboy. This is not reward. It is binding. Her spirit is now tied to yours, and if you walk away, the spirits will judge." Cole felt the weight of the desert in those words. The land, the sky, even the air seemed to hold its breath. Naya stepped forward. "Father, please, let him choose." But the elder shook his head. "The spirits have chosen already. Cole looked at Naya. For a long moment neither spoke. The wind carried the scent of sage and dust between them. Then Cole said softly, "Maybe the spirits know more than I do." The warriors nodded. The elder raised his hand to the sky, murmuring in Apache tongue, a chant that echoed through the canyon. When it ended, the silence that followed felt eternal. That evening, Naya stood beside Cole at the corral again, the horses calm under the rising moon. "You could have refused," she whispered. Cole smiled faintly. "Maybe I didn't want to." The moonlight shimmered on her hair, and for the first time she reached out, touching his hand gently. Then maybe the spirits were right. The wind softened, carrying the smell of sagebrush and rain. Somewhere deep in the desert, thunder rolled, not angry but calm. And under that endless western sky, two souls stood side by side, bound by fate, by courage, and by a law older than any man. Sometimes the desert writes stories no man can undo, stories of rescue, of love, of the sacred bond between heart and spirit. And if you believe in such tales, don't forget to ride with us again. Subscribe to Foreign Tenure Legends, where every story breathes the dust, the glory and the soul of the West.